Hey guys, hope everything's going well. You guys know that drill. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below. Follow me on IG at Instagrams at at AIH underscore sports. I botched that one up. But anyways, and follow me on my finance channel at AIH Finance. Okay. So a couple of things. Someone said that, hey, you're deleting some of my comments. And I told him I don't recollect me deleting comments. The only thing that I delete is just spam. That it's usually in a foreign language these days. So yeah, if you think YouTube may have deleted it, because YouTube does delete comments, because I have posted on other channels and I didn't see it. And sometimes they do that because if you put down like Instagram, or if you say some some speech that YouTube doesn't like or the advertisers don't like, then they do delete it for some reason. It is probably, once again, that it's probably coming from the advertiser saying, hey, you can't have people say this on the chat or whatever, right? But anyways, if you do think that I'm deleting, just comment down again and say, hey, I think you deleted it. I'll be like, no. But anyways, and then just repeat what you said, okay? Now, getting into the topic today, it's regarding actually some commenters and some people I've seen stated that, hey, people like me are responsible for the decline in the hobby. And I'm thinking to myself, what? I mean, once again, say whatever you want to say, as long as, you're not harassing or threatening anyone or something like that. But I'm just thinking, like, how am I responsible for that? And I do want to look at, are the influencers responsible for the decline in the hobby? And my answer is yes and no. And I'll talk about where they are not responsible. So suppose an influencer, YouTuber, Instagrammer, right? Suppose they are trying to interpret information to the best to their ability, then I don't think they are to be responsible for the decline, or the way the hobby is right now, which is obviously not the best place right now compared to a couple of years ago, where it was on the upswing. Now, where I would actually say where people are to blame, influencers are to blame, where it comes regarding the hyping, the pumping, all that good fun stuff. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people were buying into that, and some influencers who were getting kickbacks, right? Not disclosing those kickbacks. Yes, I definitely have issue with that. And some people remember the Star Wars saga, right? People were coming after me left and right. And by the way, once that $100,000 video question came out, and it was from Daps, right? He asked the question, "Hey, is my card worth $100,000?" Right? You got a card for pennies on the dollar, sold for 5,000, and then sold for what? 15,000, 16,000, whatever it was, and then next thing, the next valuation for the Grail card is $100,000, right? That's when the attack stopped on me, quite ironically, right? And yeah, and it's quite interesting to see Dakota doing some videos these days, right? He left around the time where they're about to hype the card. They, as in some influencers out there, and he took a break. I was supposed to be on his show, but that didn't end up happening. He said, "Oh, something's going on." I'm like, "Okay, cool, fine, whatever." Now he's back. He's ignoring that situation. I'd like to hear what he has to say about that $100,000 valuation that was set for that card, especially when the Luke Skywalker PSA 10 was what, close to $50,000. That was in what, October, I believe. think that's the last sale. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong if there has been another sale, but it is quite interesting. But I digress. Anyways, regarding all this stuff. So people are coming after me at that time saying that, hey, what proof do you have with hyping and in particular this and other cars that you're talking about? Well, it's not that hard. If you go to what happened during NBA Top Shot, which was hyped to the nth degree, there were what appears to be kickbacks. And how can I prove that? Um, I asked that question on Instagram one time, and one viewer of mine, Matt Sokol, who has a YouTube channel, I don't know if he has done content in a while. I've watched his UFC videos, which I did enjoy watching. I follow him on IG as well. And he commented and said that during the NBA Top Shot hype, he was asked to basically hype it up. He'd be getting paid, right? And he didn't feel comfortable, so he didn't take that. And there were a lot of YouTube channels at the time that were hyping it up. You saw all this hot money come into Top Shot, right? And not only that, what I'm suspicious about with NBA Top Shot is you had ESPN and you had Pat McAfee. I like Pat McAfee, by the way. And they were all talking about, oh, NBA Top Shot is great and this and that, And that was close to the top. And once again, I did a video at that time and I said, like, hey, this is ridiculous. The valuation just seems out of control. And that was close to the top of the market. So, stuff like that I've noticed, I think the guys that were part of the hype and were getting paid off and not disclosing the payoffs, I think that's a huge problem. I mean, it happens in all parts of our society. I mean, DC, you could look at, all sort of kickbacks going on. That's why it's so corrupt. But, it is what it is. So I'm just looking at it where, okay, the influencers that were hyping it up, yeah, they're bad for the hobby, in my opinion. And also, what I'd like to say is that one time, what's his name? Ziggy did a video. It's a couple of weeks ago, actually. And he was talking about Gary Vee had a Zoom meeting, and this was all documented through this one dude, Dan. I forgot his last name. I talked about it the other day. And Dan said that, hey, Gary Vee got a bunch of millionaires, and Gary Vee said, oh, this is going to be great. Sports cards are this and that, right? And you just saw an explosion in sports cards, right? And from my understanding, Ziggy thought this was basically manipulating the market. And who knows if some of the influencers on the call were trying to engage in pump and dumps. I would not be surprised if that's the case. So that type of influencing, I'm not a fan of, right? Now, some people may argue, hey, it brought eyeballs to the hobby. Okay, that's the contrary argument. So I just don't like that. In regards to other people that come after me, which is fine, right? Once again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I argue that, the price decline doesn't have to deal with, my content or other content that someone may feel that is negative. It's all macroeconomics, right? Fed was pumping in 2020 and now they're not pumping. It's just simple as that, right? So, it is what it is. Once again, everyone is entitled to their opinion. Now, people saying that I'm bad for the hobby, okay, that's fine. That is your opinion, but once again, I'm just looking at it from, okay, this is what's going on, and this is how I'm analyzing it. And some people, they just don't like my strike zone, right? It is what it is, guys, but I had to comment on that. Anyways, let me know what you think about that. Remember to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below, guys. Thank you. Bye.